It was a cool evening in early April 2006. The streets of Columbus, Ohio buzzed with the energy of spring approaching. College students laughed over drinks, music pulsed from the bars, and life hummed along, oblivious to the mystery about to unfold. Brian Shaffer was one of them. A 27-year-old medical student at Ohio State University, his charm, ambition, and love for music made him someone everyone wanted to be around. But on the night of April 1st, Brian stepped into the Ugly Tuna Saloona, a popular bar in the bustling Gateway District, and never came out, at least, not that anyone saw. Brian Shaffer's life seemed full of promise. Born on February 25, 1979, in Pickerington, Ohio, Brian had a close relationship with his family. He was particularly close to his younger brother, Derek, and his mother, Renee. But while Brian appeared to have it all, including a supportive girlfriend named Alexis Wagoner, who had been planning a getaway to Miami with him just days later, not everything was perfect. Brian was still grieving the recent loss of his mother to cancer, a wound that cut deeply. Friends recalled that he threw himself into his studies and leaned on music for solace, especially songs by his favorite band, Pearl Jam. But no one could have known that evening, as Brian joined his friend Clint Florence for a night out, how eerily those lyrics might come to resonate. Starting at the Ugly Tuna, Brian and Clint hopped from one bar to another, meeting up with Clint's friend Meredith Reed later in the night. By the time the trio returned to the Ugly Tuna, around 1 a.m., their mood was still lively. Surveillance footage captured Brian grinning broadly as he talked and gestured with his friends at the entrance. It was the last confirmed sighting of him. But this is where the mystery devours all logic. Despite multiple cameras stationed along the entrances and exits of the bar, Brian Shaffer was never seen leaving. It was as though he vanished into thin air. For investigators, Brian's disappearance posed an almost impossible puzzle. Columbus police meticulously reviewed every second of Ugly Tuna's security footage. They saw Brian enter the bar but found no evidence of him walking out through either of its two exits. Detectives questioned Clint Florence and Meredith Reed. Both claimed they had no idea what happened after they parted ways with Brian around 2 a.m. Attempts to track Brian's cell phone proved fruitless. Calls went straight to voicemail, and Brian's credit cards, completely untouched. The search for clues expanded rapidly. Volunteers, police officers, and even cadaver dogs combed nearby alleys, construction sites, and the Olentangy River. Yet hope dwindled as the days turned into weeks. If Brian didn't exit the bar on his own feet, what happened to him? Over time, theories emerged, but none have been proven. Some wonder if Brian orchestrated his own disappearance, fueled by stress or grief. Could he have ducked into a stairwell or a hidden exit and started anew elsewhere? Others point to foul play. Was Brian the victim of a robbery gone wrong? Did someone inside the bar have sinister motives? Some theorists have even examined the building itself. Construction near the Ugly Tuna at the time led many to speculate whether Brian fell into an opening or was tragically buried in rubble. The disappearance of Brian Shaffer left an unfillable void for his family and friends. His father, Randy Shaffer, clung to hope for years, often leaving his porch light on at night, a silent beacon calling Brian home. Sadly, Randy passed away in 2008, struck by a freak accident during a storm. For those closest to Brian, the pain is doubled, mourning not just the person, but also the unanswered questions that keep them awake late into the night. Brian Shaffer's disappearance remains one of the most perplexing missing person cases in modern history. For his loved ones, his friends, and the people who followed his story, one hope remains alive, that one day the truth will emerge. Until then, Brian's absence is felt in every nook of their lives, a lingering question with no answer.